Appreciate it, bro. Y'all been dealing with it, you know what I'm saying? My pops, he was kind of, he the reason I'm down here, you know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be no Sheedy Gonzalez if it wasn't for my old man, you know what I'm saying? I'd probably been Rashid in Philly dead or somewhere or something. So, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Like I said, I've been thinking about them and I've been wanting to get a hold of you, man, since I've seen it. Now, my wife actually told me, man, you about Rashid.
Wow.
You know, I said, yeah, I met him one time, man, over there.
Wow. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, man. Hanging in there, it's all good. Yes, sir. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, you call right now, man. I'm hollering at your brother. I'm giving him a few. We're having a little convo, but I'm gonna pass the phone back to him so y'all you can chop it up with him. But I got your number memorized, so you know me, Grim. I call you out the blue. You know what I'm saying? You be like, damn, why is this nigga? You know what I'm saying? I just be hitting you up, so I surely hit you up, bro.
Cool. Take care of yourself, man. God bless you, bro.
All right, Minister. Appreciate it. Here you go, bro.
Hey, I talked to Carlos. He said he's gonna call you, man. He's got your number on the list, and he said he's gonna call you for sure. He wanted to talk. It's gonna be an 866 number, 1866. So make sure you answer that. He said that he's been meaning to call you, but been getting wrapped up. But today he told me for sure he's gonna call you. He wants to talk to you about your album and stuff. He said so. I told him. Now I told him that you've been waiting for him to call you. You know what I'm saying? And he told me, he goes, yeah, man. I said, man, don't say you're gonna do it, cause I'm gonna tell him today that you said that today. Sure enough, you know what I'm saying? So he said he's gonna call you. So as soon as y'all get a chance to talk, let me know. I'll remind him tomorrow. I'm supposed to go see him probably this weekend. So we'll see what's up with that.
You got on the list?
Yeah, I'm on the list. I'm gonna go with Jose, and we're supposed to go visit him.
Well, look, I really was calling you because my friends are in town. And I don't know if they're gonna be at the Jar tomorrow. They're in Galveston right now.
Okay.
Matter of fact, tell Rashid that you dogs in Galveston.
You dogs in Galveston.
You dog?
Yeah, I told Jose. I told Juan. I mean, I don't know why I say Juan. I told Jose. He said he can come by here and do whatever he wants. And
yeah, I told him, man. I told him to call, and then if you want to be able to meet him, let's get the club to the building and knock at the door.
Yeah, just ask for Jose and tell him. Yeah, and he'll be straight.
Yeah,
he'll be straight.
Cool.
We got him taken care of.
Yeah, he's still gonna give you a call, but he wants to get with you anyway. Sometimes about the music.
All right.
But like I said, they depend on it. My brother's out there. He's unemployment, so he might be looking for a job. He might be running around. He goes, well, I'll just give him a call, and if he can meet me, that'd be great. I'll just go knock at the door.
Yeah, it's all good. Tell him if he got a job for me, I can work, man. I dig ditches. You know what I'm saying?
Guess where I delivered to today?
Who?
Guess where I delivered?
Oh, where?
At Cowboys headquarters.
Cowboys headquarters?
Oh, shit.
I went in there and took a shit.
Did you put?
I walked out.
Did you throw up the cuernos?
Nah, I gotta be professional, man. I'm working for
That's cool.
I mean, don't start overnight.
Next time I'm gonna give you a little sticker you can put over there now. I hear that, man. Did you holler at Des Bryant? He found his gold earring.
They're in Oxnard.
Oh, that's right. They're not there.
Oxnard.
They're moving to Plano, man. It's gonna be their last season out there.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, that's cool though. You went over there. That's cool, man. You know, we getting ready for.
I had to deliver there because that's my route.
We getting ready for Kubiak's return this weekend. You know what I'm saying? My mom told me to holler at him.
He's trying to build them Broncos,
Yeah, he trying to do.
Okay, go ahead, give me up.
You gotta get you a regular job nowadays. Man.
How my hustle been going pretty high, you know what I'm saying? But on another note though, I was just wondering, because we were talking to people the other day. What was the first song you ever produced for Carlos? SP?
Everybody thinks it's High So High, but it really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? High So High was like the first song I did when I came to Dope House, but the first song I ever worked with Carlos was Warriors song. The one I did with the Most Hated.
Okay, the Click song.
The Click song that I did on Most Hated album. the first Most Hated album.
Okay.
The White Album. We call it the White Album. Aggravated turned into Most Hated. I wasn't part of Aggravated. That was my brother. Grim is my twin. That was my brother's deal.
Who we just got off the phone with.
Yeah.
Grim is diminished.
That was Filetto, Grim. In fact, it was called Aggravated Mexicans, but they had Loco on there, so they had to chop off the
Mexicans. Shouts out Lord Loco, man.
They had Loco out there, but that was their thing. You know what I'm saying? They had got a lot of hype after they did that song "I'm Your Future," but that dismantled. I guess they had some contract.
"I'm Your Future," which was Grim's song.
It was Grim's song
featuring
Aggravated. Filetto made the beat. It was a Bob Marley sample.
Oh, okay.
And
but he remixed that. Yeah, he remixed it though later on, didn't he?
Yeah, he remixed it for the Purity album. I think it was the Purity album.
Okay.
With Hat.
That's
but
right.
the original had Klondike Cat on there on the
okay, that's what I thought. I thought Klondike Cat was on the original.
Yeah, Klondike was on there.
Shouts out Klondike Cat.
That was shouts out SPC. You know what I'm saying?
SPC, show right.
And that was the original Aggravated. But then when the Aggravated dismantled over contract, they had contract issues. I was working on a solo project for my brother, which was supposed to be the second solo project, which was the Brown Clues.
Okay.
And I had like 10, 15 songs. And I remember because Carlos went on like a weekend show, Dallas with Aggravated, and Aggravated had every Tuesday they have a meeting, and I was outside the house, but they would have it at my brother's house. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't part of Aggravated, so I'd be outside just whenever they were having a meeting, I'd just leave. I'd be outside my Regal, you know what I'm saying, listening to whatever beats I had made, and I seen Carlos walking up Moline Street. He was coming from Telephone. I looked, man. I said, man, look like South Park. Look like Carlos. I don't know. At that time, I was more like that. That's Carlos. He walking up. I said, man, what you doing? He had that Hillwood CD.
Okay.
He was just promoting. That's all he had, a backpack full of Hillwood CDs, and he would just sell the crap out of it. And every time he comes, so when I seen him, I said, what you doing here? He goes, man, I went to, this past weekend. I think they upset because I was selling them by my Hillwood. He was selling them by the Hillwood. They were having a meeting, and they were trying to decide whether they want him to go on the next show because they were supposed to do, it was like a deal.
Right.
I said, man, get out the sun, dude. Get out the sun, man. Come in my car, you know what I'm saying? Get in the AC, man. You want to hit this. You know what I'm saying? We was chiefing back then, you know what I'm saying? So
that's right.
He had a little 40 and stuff. He was, we was, I was swapping a drink. He let him hit the weed. And I was playing the instrumental to the Warriors song. And when he heard it, he was like, man, what's that? And I said, man, I just made this, man. I just made it right now, man. It's called Warriors. Remember that movie Warriors? He's like, yeah, man, I'm feeling that. And he goes, man, I got something for it. So he spit a little bit. That's the first time I heard, MC Torture.
Did he spit it off? Did he have it written? Or
nah, he had it on the mind.
Okay.
I guess he had, he already had it for something else, maybe for whatever, you know what I'm saying? But it fit that song. It just fit because it was Warriors, MC Torturer, Rhyme Sorcerer, Warrior. It fit. And I was like, man, you know what, dude? If we ever do this out, because I was just putting this stuff together. I didn't know what it was gonna be. I said, when I do this song, you'll be on it. You know what I'm saying? So. Long behold, Aggravated had dismantled. This is, a little bit later. When Aggravated dismantled, they had the second Aggravated, the Froggravated group was going to put out the album. So Filetto and my brother, they were like, man, them tracks you got for the Brown Clues, man, maybe we could just throw lyrics on that and we could put out our album before them. We got signed to Jam Down. Right. You know what I'm saying? The Most Hated got signed to Jam Down. And they wanted to put out an album quick. This is before Lil Kiki got signed to Jam Down. So when I said, okay, cool, you know what I'm saying, we'll use the album, my project, and we'll put out an album. Well, we did the album, we started doing all the songs, and Warriors came up. They were like, what are we going to do? I said, man, let's do it as a click song. You know what I'm saying? Well, why do you want to do it? Because they wanted to be for, for Most Hated.
Most Hated.
I said, nah, let's do it as a click song. What we'll do is we'll put some artists on there before the original members. He goes, all right, who we going to get? I said, man, we got to call South Park. You know what I'm saying? And Carlos, my brother Carlos. I said, yeah, man. A while back, you know what I'm saying, about a year ago, when I was whoop-de-woo in this song, you know what I'm saying, he had came out, he had a throw-ass verse for it, you know what I'm saying? So he's like,
this is a year ago.
It had to have been. It was a good year. It was a good year later. Because Aggravated was still pumping. It was going strong.
Right.
It dismantled. And then we came with, the Most Hated. They came with the Most Hated. Cause I wasn't part of that. Like I said, I wasn't part of Aggravated. I was around doing beats and stuff like that with me and my brother, but I wasn't even really into that.
But when the Most Hated cover came out, you was on it though, right?
Yeah, no, I was in Most Hated.
Oh, okay,
they couldn't
okay,
do
okay.
Most Hated because they came to me. It's like, we got this out. So I became an official member
Had to put you in there.
on top. That's why in the back of the album, you see me, and then Pharrell's kind of like behind me. It was not like, instead of side to side, because the album was mine. It was my album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And,
Right.
and so when we put Carlos on it, we got video of it and everything. He did it. I mean, he set the tone for the song. That's the first song that I ever worked with Carlos. You know what I'm saying?
Warriors.
Was Warriors.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But everybody thinks it's Hot So High. Now, Hot So
Well,
High.
well, yeah, how did that?
Hot So High
That's
came
the second
along
song you did.
because we was at Jam Down. You know what I'm saying? And we were working on the Most Hated and everything. See, everybody knew Jam Down. Little Kiki got signed to Jam Down.
Shouts out Kiki to Don.
You know what I'm saying? And that's when, and Little Kiki had the Don't Mess with Texas. He had really just had that song Southside, but he was recording his Don't Mess with Texas. And to me, Kiki was, you know, to me, he was a lyrical genius, because that album, the rest of the songs, they weren't like Southside. He kind of flipped the script, you know what I'm saying, on the album, the way he, you know, choreographed the album. It was kind of thrown, you know what I'm saying. I liked it. You know, I was like, man, that's smart, you know what I'm saying, because he threw out different changes, different songs, you know, Ballers in the Mix, you know what I'm saying.
That's right.
All these different songs, different styles, you know. I mean, he made his own style, you know what I'm saying. And so when Lil Keith became the franchise, you know, player of Jam Down, we were on the label before Kiki. When he became the franchise player, we kind of got, I wouldn't say kicked to the side, but it felt like it. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody in the business don't know how it go. You know what I'm saying? When you get a high artist, and you know, so
Yeah.
we
He was hot.
get the point.
He was hot. So Carlos, at the time, Lil Kiki was doing his album. Carlos came to Jam Down over the telephone right there in Griggs, and Patrick Lewis was the CEO of Jam Down, and Carlos came in. He told Patrick Lewis, he said, he came there, sat down. He said, I'm gonna have the biggest record label in Texas. He didn't say Houston. He said Texas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have the biggest record label in Texas. And Patrick Lewis, being Patrick Lewis, he's from Trinidad. You know, I'll never forget the way he said it, because he just laughed. He just had this. Patrick had this laugh like. He just looked at Carlos. He was sitting on. He said, "Come on, Carlos, you're nothing but a comedian rapper, you know."
That's what he told me.
Yeah. And Carlos tripped out, man. Like, he took it. I don't know, cool. He took it good, you know what I'm saying? Because he didn't really take that much. He laughed. He was like, "I'm just telling you, like, I'm just telling you." And it was that day that I left Jam Down, and I went outside and I told Carlos, "Man, so where's this dope house at?" You know what I'm saying? And he says, "Man, it's over there in downtown, which is here." You know what I'm saying? This is it. This building right here.
Okay.
You know what
So
I'm
y'all
saying?
left that day.
So that day, I remember he was driving his cousin's, forgot his cousin's name. He was driving his cousin's green Grand Prix. He had just came from Lake Jackson, because he had just bought Felony and Piglet.
Okay. The
The
pitch.
two little pits.
Okay.
And they had, one of them threw up in the back seat of the car, so we cleaned that up. We came over here. We drove right here, and Carlos was like, "So what's up with you, man? I know you making beats, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. What you got? What's your latest?" And I had 3 beats. I had High So High, and I had 2 other beats. Can't even remember the other 2. And I told him my pitch was always back then was that, you know, I used to sell my beats 3 for a G, half now, half when I'm done. He was like, 3 for a G, no problem. The first time I got paid for, you know, a track, you know, like that, you know what I'm saying, like on the spot. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "Yeah, no problem." He came into the office, wrote me out a check for $1,000, Dope House Records on it, and I went and cashed it. And he didn't give me half. He didn't give me the 500. He gave me the whole $1,000.
The whole
The
thing.
whole kid and
That's my
caboodle.
new song.
So that day, it was on I'll never forget it. It was on a Monday. I said, all right. I showed him the beat for High So High. He liked it. And I already had wrote the hook. So the hook was already done. You know what I'm saying? So that Monday, he heard it. That Tuesday, we dropped his lyrics. Okay? The hook hadn't been dropped yet. So that Tuesday, he put out an ad on the, I think it was a green sheet for a singer. You know what I'm saying? So that Wednesday, 2 people showed up, because he put it out on Tuesday. 3 people showed up. It was a girl with her dad. Some girl was just like horrible. just didn't sound good at all. The other one would sound great, you know what I'm saying? But she was underage. She came with her dad. We didn't want to deal with her. And then it was
Madeline.
Madeline came, you know, she showed up. And she was a tall black girl, but she had that voice. And we threw her in the booth, and she sang the hell out that hook. And I know Carlos, you know, chopped her down, you know what I'm saying, gave her a grip. And that was it. So on Wednesday, we had it already done. But I don't know if you remember back then, on Wednesday, we used to go to Club AM.
Okay.
After hours. It was an after hours club, and it was Kool-Aid was the DJ.
Okay.
And we had Carlos at that time. We were working on I forgot the name, but Sessions 8. Because back then, I mean, we didn't have all these Pro Tools and everything. We had like a little 8-track. You know what I'm saying? Right. I had to fix it. I had to finalize it. I finalized it. We took it to Club AM. That's how long it took us that whole night to get it right. You know, Carlos.
Okay.
And we took it to Kool-Aid, and Kool-Aid was in the DJ booth, and Carlos went up there, talked to him for a little bit. Next thing you know, I hear boom, 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 and the dance floor was kind of empty. You know, it was kind of light. You know what I'm saying? So when he put it on, I ain't gonna lie, man, like it was the movies for me, because the next thing I knew, then that dance floor just, you know, got crunk, and Kool-Aid was like, "This is a new one coming from South Park, Mexican." You know what I'm saying? Let me know how, you know, let us know how you know you feel. If you feeling it, hit the dance floor. I mean, that floor was packed, and so they started playing it. Well, Kool-Aid was working at a house party back then, and he was with a homie Marco. He was a DJ. He was a DJ, you know, for house party. So in the morning, I guess they went to the program director. They had a meeting or whatever. And I promise you, on Thursday, remember that was Thursday morning, you know what I'm saying, Wednesday night, Thursday morning. On Thursday, man.
It was playing.
Dude, it was playing. And not only that, but I'll never forget it, because I was riding the Pierce elevator, and I was coming, you know, to here after I went home and slept, came here, and I heard it on the radio, and I had just caught the back end of it, you know, the back end of the song, and whoever was the DJ at the time, I think it was homie Marco. You're like, "Yeah, man, did you hear that new song from South Park Mexican? Yeah, it's called High So High, man. Oh, you didn't hear it? Here it is again." And they played it back to back.
Okay.
And that, to me, I was like, you know, it was like, you know, like when Selena and them heard it, you know, on the movie, when they heard their song on the radio, I was, you know, here I'm driving, I'm going, I ain't never heard my song on the radio like that.
That's right.
Never. So I was like, I was on a high, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, like, whoa, what? I'm running and Pierce elevator, you know, it's right here, you know what I'm saying? I got here in like 2 minutes, you know what I'm saying? I come in, "Hey, man, they played on her." Carlos sitting back like, "Yeah, I know." You know, like it ain't nothing.
Cool, like, cool, calm, and collected.
You know what I'm saying? Cool and everything. And then he jumped up, because he made it seem like he was all cool. He's like, "Yeah, I know," and everything. And I'll never forget, man, he jumped up and goes, "It's on the radio, dog." And we just looked at each other, we were like, "Yeah, dog, we did it," you know what I'm saying? We you know, I never really imagined that from Monday at Jam Down, when he said that he was going to be the #1 record label in Texas, to that Thursday,
Radio play.
It was radio play, and it was a song that I offered Little Kiki, and I offered, you know, other people that didn't, you know, pay for it or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I got a little bit of flack for that, you know what I'm saying? Because the other artists were like, "Man, that was supposed to be my song," you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And I was like, "Nah, I know, man," but to me, it was like Carlos was the only one that could take it where he took it.
That's right.
If I would have gave it to Lil Kiki, yeah, Lil Kiki would have had somebody. Kiki didn't take it because he knew it. He was changing his style. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't trying to. He was doing his own thing. You know what I'm saying? Which, cool. The other artists, you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't think he. You know, my boy, love him to death. My brother from another mother. But after, you know, retrospect, looking back, I don't think that he really at the time could have took it. It fell in the right hand. If he took it. Carlos took it to where it could have been, where it should have been, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, right after that, dude, to me, that was like the biggest thing that ever happened. It was the first song that I ever worked with Carlos professionally. And then, in retrospect, what we did is we ended up doing the Third Wish. Of course, when I did that song, High So High, I mean, the album was supposed to be like, okay, it was like a springboard. Because we didn't understand how quick, you know, we thought we were going to have time to do an album. But we didn't have time because we had a single out already. We kind of put the cart in front of the horse. Right. So we were like, "Oh damn, we ain't got no album for this. How we can't just sell the single. We need to put an album out." So here it was, man. We worked, I mean, just night and day, man, to put that Third Wish out. That was like, I slept here. You know what I'm saying? And we finished the album. We did all the things for the Third Wish. When we worked on the Third Wish, it was a lot of time and patience. You know what I'm saying? But we put a lot of hours into it. But we tried to do it as soon as possible. It ended up being the number one selling album out of Southwest distribution back in those days. And the defining moment, honestly, about that song, it's not about the money, it's not about the radio play or anything like that, but I had to, this is what that song means to me. My son, who's 27, he's 23 now. Back then he was about 8. And I'll never forget it, man. The guy from Southwest Distribution, which was Robert Gilliman, gave Carlos some tickets to go see the Astros. At that time, it was at it wasn't Minute Maid Park, it was Enron.
Okay. Enron Field. Okay.
Enron Field, or it might have been just turned Minute Maid Park. But anyway, he gave some Crawford section seats, and I took my son, and I took my son's best friend and my wife, and there's a picture on there, because we were in the National League back then. So the picture actually hit. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now we're in the American League. And the picture was that picture that came on that Casa Olay song, commercial for the restaurant. He passed away. Okay. Jose Guion, I can't remember his last name. Anyway, okay. But when the batters come up to bat, they play a song. They play their music, right? Right. So it's and up to bat, Jose, Pinzon, I can't remember his last name. It just kills me that I can't remember his last name. But lo and behold, man. Boom, 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 boom.
Oh,
boom, boom,
man.
Boom, boom. He comes up with that beat. You know what I'm saying? And my son was sitting, I let him go in the front. He has his glove on. Little kid, about 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? He looks back at me. I'm sitting back with my wife. I'm listening. I'm like, man, that's cold blooded. That's tight. You know what I'm saying? And my son, now he looks back and goes, Dad, they're playing your song. Which everybody probably in the whole section probably thought that's just my favorite song. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how I produced it. You know what I'm saying? They probably thinking, oh, that's his favorite song too. You know what I'm saying? But to me, that was like worth more than money.
That's right.
Because my son had recognized, and he got to see that his dad was able to do something bigger than life, bigger than something, bigger than normal. You know what I'm saying? And from that moment on, man, I just always felt like, this is what I was put on this earth to do. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And that's why that song has a lot of meaning. It's not about the money. It's not about what it made for anybody else or Dopehouselivestv. But for me, that was a crazy song.
Okay. Well, we know you did other hits, other songs with him. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna talk a little bit more about that. You know what I'm saying? Later on. You know what I mean? See what else you got in the pot. See, I heard you did a little rapping yourself on a few of the projects. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely appreciate you stopping by. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't no thing, man.
Shadow high, so high. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man. I just want to say, man, free the Mex. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, man. Look out, man. Just let everybody know that we trying to do this, and we in this like we trying to get it done. We got more projects for you, man. I got TR coming. Y'all don't know what that is, but it's gonna be something to see. You know what I'm saying? And I just appreciate you, dog.
Man,
it's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? But I'm back.
Yes, sir. Okay. Hopefully I get a new beat from you.
You already know.
By the way, all y'all youngsters out there want to be a G, holla at us, Dope House Records, free SPM.
Peace.
Let's see what we got.
Damn.
Who is he?
One Michael Anthony Thompson.
Another Michael? We keep finding these bodies with the same name, Michael.
I think I know who's doing this.
Well, enlighten me.
It's the SPM, South Park Mexican.
What makes you say that?
He's the Mike murderer. Nobody murders Mike like he does.
Thought he was in jail.
And he could do this from anywhere. And usually when he does this, he's about to drop another album.
Yeah, let's take a walk outside.
I know you want to get your smoke on.
But so basically, High So High was the hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, first radio hit. First radio hit.
It was the first radio hit for me. I think it was the first radio hit for Carlos.
Right. Cause Hustle Town was more underground. We had to go grab more hand bitch you or.
Yeah, Hustle Town was more underground. Hustle Town, I believe Carlos did that with what's the name of that cat? Mad Real?
Shit. Shitoro. Shouts out Bernie and Shitoro.
Bernie, Shitoro at that house. They did all those songs. I really wasn't around for all that, you know what I'm saying? My brother and I was doing our own thing. You know what I'm saying? We was doing our own thing. We was trying to, you know, it's just sad but true, but we didn't do it for money, man. We were just trying to do something for the hood. We were just trying to put our name in the game. Because we wanted to make sure that we could let everybody know that we could do this too. That's right. You know what I'm saying? And we were just representing Southeast. Our first group was Southeast Latin Sector, 5735.
Okay.
That's what we was repping. We was putting that, we was spray painting that everywhere, you know what I'm saying? When we did the Make Them Out Worse album. Carlos was doing his thing. In fact, I didn't even know Carlos was doing it. In fact, Carlos came over to our house. We was working on the Make Them Out Worse album. And I was working on my ASR 10, I'll never forget it, and in the background I hear this nasally, nasty voice, you know, rapping. You know, like, man, I said, what the hell is that? But it was so captivating that I wanted to work with that voice. I wanted to because he has a unique voice. In this game, you gotta have that type of, you know, edge. And he had that edge. You know what I'm saying? And then I listened to his Hillwood, you know, CD. At the time, he had Revenge on one side. It was an EP, really. It was like 2 songs. He had Hillwood and Wizard of Oz on one side, and he had Revenge on the other side. It was just a little silver tape. Yeah, he had that Revenge, and that was hitting hard. I don't know, in the neighborhood, like people go, man, you ain't heard that Revenge. You know, I was like, what you talking about, man? My Revenge. And I started, I said, man, this is Carlos. This is the Carlos I grew up with. This is Carlos Cord. You know what I'm saying? Because I've known Carlos since I was like 10 years old. Growing up in the pipe yard, you know what I'm saying? When we was kids. And I was like, and Carlos was the cat that your mom told you not to hang out with. You know what I'm saying? Because he was just bad. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. He was always into something that you wouldn't have. Your parents didn't want. My mom was like, that boy right there? Nah, you don't need to be hanging out with that boy right there. Well, as we grew up, we were from the same neighborhood, but we were from, you know, he was from the side of the telephone. And I said, that's Carlos Cord. Nah, they looked over and he was wearing looked like a Freddy Krueger shirt. It was, I'll never forget, it was red with blue stripes going across it. And he had a little 4-8, you know what I'm saying? He was standing there and he started spitting some lyrics I can't remember, but his voice I remember, and I was like, man, that's you know what I'm saying? That's how we got, you know, that's how we got as far together musically. Okay. And we was doing it for our hood. He was doing, and then I'll never forget. I went to
this is before the cat deal and all that.
Yeah, this is before all that. This is the Making Them Matter. My brother's first album that I worked on with Filetto and Malasso, and it was called Making Them Matter Worse. It was my brother Grimm's first album, Making Them Matter Worse. Okay. So this was before anything. And I remember going to Carlos and I told him that night in front of him, I said, hey man, if you ever need my help, you know what I'm saying, I'm working on some beats. I'll never forget it. He just told me straight up, man, I don't need your help. I'm gonna do it myself. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of dude he was. You know what I'm saying? I didn't take offense to it because we was doing the same thing. Because K-Reno was the same way with me. He was like, K-Reno came up to me and told me the same thing. Hey, if you need my help, you know, Dopey was like,
salute K-Reno, man.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you need help. And we was telling him basically the same thing. Nah, bro, we're gonna do it on our own. You know what I'm saying? Egypt B is the one that showed me how to work a keyboard. But as far as that goes, that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? I asked Egypt, can he show me how to work a keyboard? Without a doubt, in a split second, he pulled a chair next to his chair. He showed me how to work that 16 plus. You know what I'm saying? Over there, over there in the barrio, right there off of Harrisburg and 75th Street. They had a little house, him and Dopey. And I went over there and we used to cheap it up big time. We provided the weed. We was Mexican. That's right. We provided the weed. We wasn't even in the game. Right. I told Egypt, hey man, show me how to, you know, work this keyboard.
Shouts out Egypt being dope.
And Egypt was down. He got a chair. I never, when he left the room, I thought he was gonna come back and be like, man, I done asked him if he could show me his craft. Like, how dare I? You know what I'm saying? But he came back with a chair and put it right next to his and started showing me. And that night I made a beat and it was on. But we wanted to do it our own self. Carlos was doing his thing. So when Carlos did Hustle Town, that was his project after Hill. That was his sophomore album.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he was doing that on his own. I had nothing to do with that. Falero helped him, I think. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
As far as helping.
Okay, so we're gonna have to go visit Falero for that Hustle Time.
Yeah, Falero, I think he was helping with the beats and the drums. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And that's how I met Chituro, because we would hang out together, do different shows and stuff like that. But that was the first time I had, Carlos, like professionally, like I guess we saw each other at the Unicorn Ballroom. I remember the Unicorn Ballroom over in the north side. It used to be old Kroger. And everybody in Dopey and them, they was throwing like a rap battle. Any rap battle contest that was out there, my brother, like my brother was like, I'm gonna go win. My brother was like, I'm gonna go win this. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna kill it. I'm like, all right, cool. So we would go, and back then our whole getup was blue Dickies and blue Dickies, blue top. You know what I'm saying? 40, and we had those stitched hats back in the days. Okay. Remember back in the days, you go to Sharpstown, you get some stitched hats. You get your own little whatever you want. Yeah, they had some stitched hats back in the days, and that's what we did. Next thing you know, man, Hustle Town came out. I was like, wow. I was just pretty amazed. Merry Go Round was a big hit. You know what I'm saying? Which was you were on Merry Go Round, Low G, and to me that song I was like, I'll never forget. My cousins, they brought it to me. Hey, you heard that song, Merry Go Round? Nah, I ain't heard no song. And I heard that song, I was like,
Damn it.
I was like, I was like, oh man, they just killed it.
That's right.
Because it was a story. It was something like that. Like, man, we go the hook, and I was like, wow.
That's right.
I was like, that boy, he on something.
So you start wanting to work with.
I started appreciating what he was doing because I was a Carlos,
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. We talked a little bit about Hustle Town. We talked about your big, your breakthrough with the Third Wish. So so after the Third Wish, the next project was Purity.
Yeah.
Okay. So how was things going along? Because I know he did the deal with Universal by this. So what was the difference?
In actuality, they wanted the Third Wish, and Carlos didn't. He didn't want to give up the Third Wish. Southwest distribution was blowing up. You know what I'm saying? It was more. This is like during the time when a lot of people started realizing that coming out independently was the best way to go instead of going getting hooked up with a record label, a big record label.
Okay.
Of course, being with a big record label was also still strong, but people started like realizing like maybe being independent was the way to go because you could do more.
Gonna make money.
You can make more money. You know what I'm saying? So but you wanted that brand, that Universal, that Warner Bros., that Atlantic.
Right.
So Carlos started doing this talking to Monty Lipton and some other guys from Universal, and the Purity album actually was all the throwaway songs that Carlos didn't do for any of his albums.
Right.
It was like leftover songs from different artists.
Right.
And I put them all together. I put all these songs together. It was like kind of like an extra curricular activity that I was working on while we were doing all of these other things. Carlos started promoting the Third Wish. He didn't have time to be in the studio. He was out there pushing the Third Wish and doing shows and doing all this stuff. So he wasn't in the studio. So I had all these other songs that he was doing with other artists that he didn't use for whatever reason for the Third Wish. And then they went ahead and I compiled those songs. So what it ended up being like a compilation of all these other artists. Back in those days, Low Limit Records, you know what I'm saying? They had an arsenal of artists, and every time they put out a CD, there would be like 6 flats. Remember that? Yeah. It'd be like 6 flats, and it'd be like, who's next? You know what I'm saying? Or who's coming up next? You know what I'm saying? And that's what Carlos wanted. Carlos wanted, he wanted to promote not just him, but he wanted to promote his brand as far as Dope House Records, and this is the artist that he had. So that Purity album was perfect because it had all these different artists. Some of them were okay, some of them were great, some of them were like awesome.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And 24/7 Hustler was on there.
Shouts out 24/7.
You know what I'm saying? And there's just so many names. It's hard. I don't want to start naming them. I don't want to forget.
Yeah, that's a bunch of art.
But there was you know what I'm saying? There was man.
Low G, Mistress.
I'm trying to think of
Happy produced a lot of tracks on
Happy
there.
did.
Yeah.
What's the cat that got locked up, man?
Well, a couple cats got locked up. Yeah.
Skrilla.
Skrilla. Papa. Lex the Joker.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm the first one to beat him.
You know what I'm saying? So we had all these songs. So Carlos started doing this thing. Well, he started negotiating with Universal. And I actually put that Purity album together because we were doing a lot of lowrider shows. By that time, we was like the king of the lowrider show because we would go and we'd have our stage and we'd have our presence, and the biggest thing was like coming up to see what's the new thing that we could sell because we knew we was gonna sell 5,000 of whatever.
That's right.
5,000 messages were gonna buy this CD,
That's
this
right.
new
Right.
joint.
That's right.
So I put Purity.
It wasn't as much burning back then as also. It wasn't as much CD burning back
Exactly. It wasn't as much, bootlegging and all that stuff. So you actually had some gold in your hand. And it wasn't called the Purity at that time. It was just gonna be like called Dope House Compilation, Dope House Series, volume whatever, volume 1 or 2.
Right.
And I made it, and I had the whole album done. The only song that wasn't on there was You Know My Name.
Okay.
And I had it done. And I was like getting ready for the next Carmona show, or Los Magnificos show. I can't remember which one it was. And I was like, man, we need to go and burn, because we used to have the glass house. We would go make, 2,500 copies. I said, man, double that, make 5,000. You know what I'm saying? And whatever we don't sell, we sell on the streets. So, but I was trying to make a meal ticket, $10 a pop. That's 25 G's, 2,500, and that was gonna get made.
That's
easy.
Right. That's right.
That was like for sure. So I said, all right. Carlos was over there in New York, and I remember Carlos called me and said, hey man, you got that Purity album. Purity album you're talking about, man, you know that album with all the, he called it the Purity album. I said, oh, you talking about that compilation album? Yeah. Hey man, send it to me. I need you to send it to me. I'm in New York right now. I'm gonna show it to Universal. Alright, so I went to Hobby Airport. I actually put that CD on a plane.
Wow.
and sent it to him because I couldn't. It was too late to send it UPS. It wouldn't have got there overnight.
Right.
So I literally went at 6 o'clock in the evening, put it on a plane. Sylvia was out there. God called me. Back then we had the chirps. You know what I'm saying? Nextel. Called me on my Nextel. It had 2-way. Got it. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Next thing I know, I'm hearing Carl signed a $30 million contract, you know what I'm saying, with Universal. But it was that album that he had, pushed because they wanted the third wish. But no, I got something better. I got the Dope House entourage. When he came back, he added You Know My Name, which ended up being the same.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And with the pen picture, and that's how the Purity album came about. You know what I'm saying? To me, that was like a fluke.
And that was his first major deal. That was his first deal with a major. With the Purity album. Yeah. Third Wish was still independent, so he was still doing good numbers on that. Yeah. Great numbers. Hustle Town still doing good numbers.
And he did a 3-album deal with Universal.
Right.
Purity being the first one. Time is Money. Never changed.
Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, he did all 3 of those albums in 1 year.
Yeah, he did. Absolutely. Because the Purity album was done.
It was already done.
It's kind of like the Most Hated album. I was always working. I never stopped. Like I said, we wasn't doing it for the money back then. We was doing it because we wanted to show the hood. It was more of a pride thing, like.
Well, everything starts in the heart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We did it because we loved it.
Because we loved it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I wish I would have done it more for the money. Now, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I'm broke. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you.
But in retrospect, you know what I'm saying? When you look at, Straight Outta Compton, you look at that movie, you know what I'm saying? And you realize, how I guess naive I was, you know what I'm saying? Because I was just, being kind of taken. You know what I'm saying? I felt it. Now I feel that way, but at that time, nah, man, I was running the game. I was like, I'm on top. I am, the Mexican Dre of the South. You know what I'm saying? And I am doing this. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody could do that. And people were giving me that homage. They were like, anywhere I went, I could do whatever I wanted to do. I wasn't even on the posters. They knew who Shadow was. They knew who Grim was. They knew who Rashid was. They knew who Loki was. We could go and do what we wanted. wanted.
That's right.
And we did it in a fashion to where we were not, you know, assholes about it.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We kind of took it with a grain of salt, like this is what we're supposed to do.
That's right.
This ain't, you know, we worked hard for this, so we should be. This is what was given. You know what I'm saying? We was a chosen few.
That's right. Chosen few.
You know what I'm saying?
Shouts out to chosen.
You know, we was chosen to do this. It wasn't like, you know, we got dropped into this, you know, alien nation. We actually became something.
Okay, so let me ask you this: why do you think Carlos' music is still selling today, as opposed to a lot of other artists that's been in it, that's not really, you know what I'm saying, selling? I mean, me myself, I'm able to sell a CD just because of my affiliation with SPM. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't even, you know what I'm saying, gotta be a hell of a lyricist, but you know, of course, you know, I do what I do, but just being that affiliation. So, and it's a lot of artists that's not, you know, like doing nothing. So why, you know, in a nutshell, why you think you can still sell records to this day?
I think that that's a good question. That's a hell of a question, because it's not anything against any other artists out there trying to do it or not pushing any harder than we did. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of good artists out there. I see GT Garza's out there.
Right. Shouts out GT Garza.
You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I can name a bunch of names. Like, you know, I got little artists that call me all the time. 111. You know, they're out there. You know what I'm saying? I think what it is that Carlos's presence, you know, at the time was such a humongous push. You know, and the way he did it, he was the originator. You know what I'm saying? Even though I can say I'm the one that started this because we started it before.
Right.
But when he came in, he got on the scene. You know, truth be told, you know, he moved me out quick. I helped him, but he made a presence. He made an image of himself that kind of just blew up.
Right.
And that image is stuck in Houston, you know, as far as Latino rappers.
Right.
It's stuck.
Right. So as a pioneer,
He made such an impression. And now let's get real. Let's look at it like this. You have the DJ Screws, you have the Fat Pats, you have the Hawks, you have all these other artists that are from Houston who are dead, who have passed on. You know, rest in peace.
R.I.P. All the homies.
All the homies.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And we you know, every city has their own, you know, batch of rappers that have passed on. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace to all of them. In a sense, Carlos died because when he got locked up, you know what I'm saying, he's been away from his generation. So they kind of, I think they listen to his lyrics and it's still so strong because they want to celebrate, you know what I'm saying, what he did, just like they want to celebrate Screw and what he did.
That's right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's why his music is still strong because in a sense he has, you know, gone on, you know, and moved towards, he's not here with us. I'm not saying that he's dead. You know
Right. He's not actually out here
but he's
shaking
not,
hands with people. Even though, since he's been gone, he dropped how many albums?
3 or 4.
3 albums since he's been gone. So, you know,
working on 4, 5, and 6.
Oh, well, you know, that's
what I'm saying.
Okay, well, you know.
So I mean, he's not gonna stop. You know what I'm saying? He's not gonna stop working. But to me, that's what it is. I think that even the artists that are coming out right now are paying their homage because, you know, he set up such a huge presence, and it gives them something to look forward to, something to drive to, and be on that same level. And they are there. Like I said, you know, we got artists that are out there and they're doing it, man. And I got a lot of heart because I feel like you and I and Carlos and Low G and my brother and Aggravated and Most Hated and all the boys, we was the pterodactyls. We was the Tyrannosaurus Rexes. We were the dinosaurs. We were the dinosaurs that were here first, and we paved the way.
All right, man. Well, you got it, man. Part 2, man. Shadow, you know what I'm saying? AKA Randy Ramirez, you know what I'm saying? Putting it in, man.
Yeah,
and
the Brown Recluse.
Brown Recluse. And we're going to see y'all, man. Dopehouselivestv.
Most Hated, baby. 5735.
Shout out to the big homie SPM. Hey, we came all the way from Dub K to the H, man. See how you doing it, man. Hey, we got a lot of love for you, man. A lot of love. Holding it down for you too, man. For real.
So after the purity was
Time is money.
Time is money. Time is money out. Yeah. Okay. So you say the Purity was kind of like a compilation.
Yeah.
The my name SPM, you know, my name went on there. Boom. Blew it up big. I remember doing shows in California.
That's when we
off that
started
song.
doing a whole bunch of shows.
Yeah, yeah.
We even went on that tour where we in the Great Bus, and we did 30 shows in 32 days, or something like that. And everybody was on the bus. I'm talking about Hillwood Hustlers to Grimsters to Low G, Bash, Happy. We were all on that bus. Remember Big Bird? And the one thing I remember about that bus was the mountain.
Oh man, wait, we're gonna say that story about the mountains. Everybody know about the mountains though.
Yeah.
Everybody went through everybody go through it.
Devil's Back.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
them we made it to the city, they was like, I went through where?
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. We're gonna tell y'all that story about the mountains.
Yeah. That was.
I was life and death. We'd be standing here today.
I got
you
the
know
perfect segue to that one too, because there was a specific thing that happened with the Time Is Money album, is that they were trying to choose which song was going to be the single for Time Is Money.
Okay.
When we were on that tour.
Okay.
And we was going through Las Cruces. And I think we were going to Las Cruces, or we were coming from Las Cruces. We were going to some show. And
I was there, but I don't remember.
We had to go through. We were late. We were running late because it was a snowstorm.
Okay, I remember riding through the snowstorm.
And
Nightman and it was behind us.
Nightman was, and then Shut 'Em Down was behind us in the white van, 15-passenger van. Remember that? And the thing about it is that Time Is Money had just came out. We just got off the Purity. That's why we were doing the tour, because the Purity thing had blew up with My Name. We was doing the Time Is Money. So while we was on tour, doing this 32-day tour, we was working with Universal, because this was the second album. This was the sophomore album with Universal, and they was trying to figure out what was going to be the next single. I did a song with Bash, and I think it was Lucky. I don't know, I can't remember, but it was called Ooh Wee.
Ooh wee! We gonna do a thing.
And that beat was just, to me, that was a throw beat. That was like, to me, it was just I thought it was just a hype beat. Hap did a song called Oh My Mind.
Oh my.
Okay.
Oh hell yeah.
And they was trying to decide on that trip, that very day that we went on that mountain. In the very beginning of that day, when the snow started falling, Tootie was on the phone with Universal, and they was like, they want to know, they want to answer today. And Carlos, being Carlos, was asleep. You know what I'm saying, on the bus. And he didn't really, Carlos was just, he was not in his right mind. To me, that album, and It Never Changed, was, to me, in my personal opinion, was the beginning of the end. Because things just started going in a different direction. And even though we was on top, it was like we was on top of the world.
Well, tell me about some of the songs all the time. Okay, you said y'all had the Ooh Wee on there.
We had the Ooh Wee, Oh My Mind.
Oh My Mind had a video to it though, right?
Yeah, and see, well, that's what I'm saying. While we was on that trip, they decided that Oh My Mind was gonna be the single. Okay, and I remember I was upset because Ooh Wee was my track.
You produced Ooh Wee.
I produced Ooh Wee, and I wanted it to be the single because Universal was gonna put this video behind it, and it was gonna be the next radio.
Which we appeared in the video.
I got in the video. It was actually Happy's song, and I ended up being on the video. I don't know if you remember. But Happy produced that.
Okay, I forgot.
You know what I'm saying? And Bash was on both songs.
Shouts out Happy Perez.
But Bash was actually, what's up, Happy P and Nathaniel. And Bash was actually trying to promote both of them, but he was kind of like on my side. He wanted Ooh Wee. I think he felt that Ooh Wee was a good radio hit. But they went with Oh My Mind, which was cool. I mean, I was upset, but I mean, it actually was a good song for the label.
Right.
And but that was the same day that we went on that mountain trip.
Oh yeah.
It was the same morning. I'll never forget that.
So Oh My Mind ended up being the video for it. And Ooh Wee was still a big hit. Like Ooh Wee still had great good success. I noticed that on the Time Is Money album, Bash was on about 3 or 4 songs. I think 4 at the most. Him and SPM had a good chemistry together, man. Tell me a little bit about the Time Is Money project, how they came up with some of them ideas.
Ooh Wee was kind of like a follow-up to the song that I did on the Purity album, which was Follow My Lead. Bash was on that song as well.
Okay.
and it was kind of like the same. You know, it was kind of like we were still in the same you know, creative, you know, mode. You know what I'm saying? Like we all was just still there. Bash and Carlos, their chemistry was just like none other. You know what I'm saying? That I had ever seen before. It was a good thing for Carlos because he had you know, that conciliary. You know what I'm saying? Just next to him, he had that counselor, that advisor next to him. You know, advising him on the songs and the creative, you know, direction that he was going in.
Right.
Bash had a lot of creative direction. He had a lot of influence of Carlos at this time. Bash came to Houston, and it seemed like to me that the second that Bash came to Houston, that everybody was talking like Bash.
Yeah.
Wanted to be like Bash.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, and popping collars and doing all that stuff, which was to me was a good thing because it changed the, you know, it changed the brand a little bit, which is what you got to do every now and again. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So the chemistry was there, and it was so good. It was a good vibe. You know, we was on this tour, we was all having fun. Carlos was the type of person at that time where he was bringing everybody. He wasn't, you know, out for just himself. You know what I'm saying? Not that he ever was. I mean, you know, he had his moments. You know what I'm saying? But for the most part, Carlos was always trying to bring everybody along with him. He was never trying to be that selfish, you know, rapper like, this is my show. You know what I'm saying? That tour that we went on, I mean, if you remember, we had built a dope house, and every time that someone performed, because it was like off the Pure album, and they would come out, you know what I'm saying, you know, out of with the smoke coming out, you know, the house and everything. And it was a dope show. It was a good production, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the chemistry and everybody.
That was all during the time is money.
It was, because we were promoting the Purity album, but we had just finished the Time Is Money. Time Is Money hadn't even hit the streets yet. You know what I'm saying? But the Time Is Money had already been done. See, we was always one record ahead.
What was the situation with the artwork on Time Is Money? With the front cover and something going on with the...
Pen and Pixel, everybody was going through Pen and Pixel. Chris Rock did his, you know, did his Bigger Than Black, you know, I can't remember the name of the, he did his freaking, you know, comic album at Pen and Pixel. Everybody in the industry was using Pen and Pixel, you know what I'm saying? And Pen and Pixel was, you know, at that time doing a lot of graphics, and Carlos wanted the tree to be full of money, right? And he wanted to be raking up trees. Is that what you're talking about?
Right. Yeah. Well, it was money. Okay, it was trees on the ground.
It was leaves, but it was dollar bills. You know what I'm saying? Right. They were falling from the trees, and he was raking up. You know,
but he had on all of the ice.
He had all this bling and all this stuff like that. He didn't want all that. Right. He didn't want He didn't want him. He wanted to look broke, as if he was raking up time, you know, the money. Yeah. So he I remember he was, I mean, I've never seen him that animated, you know what I'm saying, about an album cover. Right.
Okay.
And I was like, why are you tripping? I remember and they had him in a Versace shirt, you know, I mean, he was blinged out and everything, and he ended up with Dickies and a white t-shirt.
Right, simple.
Broke man, you know what I'm saying? Which he made it was just hilarious, man. I mean, it started getting to a point where he was just detailed on every single little thing that he was putting out. Now, granted, you know, Universal was, you know, it was a big deal because Universal was behind us with these projects. That's right. So it was a big deal, whatever decisions he was making. And remember, a lot of the other record labels are going on. No Limit was like in the South. That was like #1. People were emulating.
Right.
No Limit. And you had Cash Money coming up. You know what I'm saying? And you had, you know,
well, we was doing the Cash Money.
Yeah, we was
watching Wayne coming up.
Right.
Wayne and us coming up.
We was trying to do the same thing. No Limit was all about, you know, showing these Versace glasses and everything like that. And at the time, if you will remember, the Cash Money was white tees.
That's right.
So we started getting, you know, not that we was trying to emulate that, but you gotta remember, we was the Mexican broadcast.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We know that this rap game is you know, is a black nation. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we know that. What we was doing, it was. But what we was doing is we was representing the Mexicanos, the Latinos in the rap nation.
That's right.
So we wanted to, you know, make sure that they understood that we was coming from where we was coming from. So we weren't emulating anything. That's what we grew up. You know,
That's right.
low riders and,
Y'all
and white
it's
tees.
just the
and stuff like
rap
that.
was the tool. That's
It was.
different toolsmen, but the same tool.
Same. We're working on the same machine. Just we had different parts, different tools. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Hillwood, South Park, you know, neighborhood in South Park, you know what I'm saying, the hood. Do you think that because, you know what I'm saying, he represented, you know, out the South Park hood that, you know, because we know he's a great rapper, but when people hear that name, South Park Mexican, they automatically want to see, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, just curious.
Absolutely, because he was considered, South Park is all black neighborhood.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Carlos was the sole Mexican coming from South Park because he used to slang dope out there.
That's
You know what I'm saying? With the, you know, everybody over there in Hillwood. So Cuban Hodges, you know what I'm saying, all those cats. So he had left our hood because, you know, we was in Reverend Park. You know what I'm saying? We were the Mexicans for us. You know what I'm saying? My brother went for weekends out in that sector.
That's
We used to Reverend telephone.
Okay.
He went to Hillwood. He became the sole Mexican. He was just telling me on the phone right now how he went to, you know, Woodlands school and he went to the, you know, cafeteria and when he stepped in there, he said you could have thought that he stepped off a spaceship because he was the only Mexican, you know what I'm saying, that walked into that. They just all looked at him like, you know, who the hell are you, aliens or what? So he was the only Mexican in that neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, an all black neighborhood. So that's why he titled himself, you know, South Park Mexican.
Shouts out South Park. I used to live in the dead end, 1200.
Much less, you know, at South Park Coalition, that's where we came up. You know, we came up with K. Reno and all them boys. You know, me and my brother. My brother was part of the South Park Coalition with Gang Smith, you know what I'm saying, Klondike Cat, Tech 9, you know what I'm saying, Dope B, Egypt B, K. Reno, of course, the founder. You know what I'm saying, the list goes on. So we all came up all together, you know what I'm saying, and even though we was at different parts of South Park, we all came from the same, you know, the same, I guess the same bottleneck, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when we was doing what we was doing, we represented the Mexicans. We wanted to show our style, you know what I'm saying? So doing that album cover, that's why he didn't want to be all blinged up.
Right. You want to be real.
He wanted to be like from the neighborhood, you know, a white tee with some Dickies, you know what I'm saying, with some winos or some, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. So looking at the movement, you know, you got the Atlanta movement, where, you know, at one point, you know, it's all about the East Coast and, you know, West Coast kind of took over. It kind of seemed like South took over and hadn't stopped, like, you know what I'm saying?
Nah, absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You know, wholeheartedly. You know, when I came into the scene, the Ghetto Boys, you know, were doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? That was what me and my brother was like. We can do this too. You know what I'm saying? James actually even spit even through. You know, me and my brother are contract 5 times. As a matter of fact, my brother been on Chill and the Siege back in the days. Okay, we was in Fifth Ward. My brother was the only
Shouts out, rapped a lot.
You know what I'm saying? Rap a lot. You know, James Prince. They were actually looking our way. You know what I'm saying? My brother actually came on. You know, went to Fifth Ward and he was the only Mexican. I remember I was working as a jailer in the jailhouse right here in Harris County. And when I got, you know, went to work, they're like, man, you know, you was on TV. Cause my brother, we twins. So I was like, nah, man. That was my grin, that was my twin, you know what I'm saying? Nah, man, that was you. You know what I'm saying? What was you doing in Fifth Ward, you know what I'm saying? But I think what it is that when it finally came down here in the South, and with the whole DJ Screw, South Park Mexican, that was all blowing up. Then you had Michael Dowd, you know, 5,000. You had Paul Wall, them coming up, you know what I'm saying? They did start. When we started pulling up our music, doing it to another level, I think a lot of people, you know, kind of just saw what we was doing and the influences that we had, and we was doing a rap in a different way, just like the East Coast. You know, I grew up on hip hop when I was breakdancing, just like the West Coast when we was watching NWA. You know what I'm saying?
Down here in the South,
But in the South, we just had a different lingo, a different.
So in saying the South, would you consider ATL on down?
Oh yeah, I would consider anything.
Louisiana,
Oklahoma,
all South.
all South. I mean, just cut the United States in half.
That's right.
From north and the whole South. I'm talking about all the way to California, all the way to Florida, the whole South. It's not just Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi. It's Georgia. You know, it's Miami, Dayton. You know what I'm saying? It's San Diego, California.
So throughout all that, I recall going to some of those cities on tours. I mean, you know, still going to some of those cities now. And if you look at the teamwork that was put in back then, do you feel like that people still using the same type of work ethics?
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean.
You know, remember before, you know, you go out, put posters on the wall, out, got the CD, you know.
The game has done changed, man. The game has changed, man. I mean, it's the internet has totally changed the game in my side, in my belief. You know what I'm saying? I don't see too many people selling CDs out the trunk. Now here in the South, I do.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? In the South.
But see, that's what we always been known for.
Yeah.
We always been known in the South.
You're gonna see some monsters that are going out there, and they're gonna still pop their trunk, and they're gonna sell their CDs out their trunk and put out posters and stuff. Now I don't know about anywhere else, you know, as far as the South. The South has always been that way.
Well, let me ask you
It's
one
kind
more
of been
question.
our little tag.
Yeah, okay, and that leads up to my next question. So, SPM movement, Rap Alive movement, SPC, even take it up to Atlanta, Gucci Land, Cash Money. You feel like, damn, I forgot the question. I finally fell off. It was a good one too, dog. Fuck. Okay, right, because you can edit it. Do you feel as though that the South was a big influence on people going independent?
Absolutely. I think that when people started seeing what we were doing, that's what I'm saying. When Carlos decided not to give Universal the Thomas money, the Third Wish album and hold it. You know what I'm saying? That was a change for us because we had a meeting about that. We're like, nah, we ain't letting that go. We wanted the brand of Universal, but we were about to let go of our Golden Goose Egg.
That's right.
No Limit, they were starting to do their own thing too. Cash Money, definitely. Slim and them boys, because they was with Universal when Carlos got signed to Universal. Slim gave a lot of advice, you know what I'm saying, to Carlos at that time, for Cash Money. We listened to him. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And he was, you know, they was
Slim,
they
baby,
was doing a lot of stuff, you know, as far as keeping it independent. In fact, they were saying there ain't no other way. They was telling us about Universal, and they were basically in words, they were saying, you know what I'm saying, once we get off this label, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna strictly stay independent, which is what happened.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what has changed the era. Once that happened in the South, everybody started going independent. Which makes a whole lot of sense.
Well, 2015, that's the date. We're going into 2016. I know you got some new stuff that you're going to, be working on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, just real quick in a nutshell, just tell us what are your expectations as far as the next 5 years? That you want to do, what you look.
Well, see, for the past 5 years, I wasn't in the game. 7 years.
Okay.
So
good.
now I'm back in the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm working with Carlos because he called me and I visited him.
When did he call you? My bad.
I talked to him yesterday.
Okay.
Today.
All right.
I talked to him today.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let's say from today to the next 5 years, what you trying to do?
Just go back to where we were, man. Straight from the top. You know what I'm saying? Just put
Dopehouselivestv lives, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Take it back, put Dopehouse back on the map. I don't even think he even left the map, but we're just gonna shine it up. You know what I'm saying? Make a little sparkle again. You know what I'm saying? Let everybody know what's going on.
I'm hungry to the bitch. I ain't gonna lie. It's just like we so crunk on what we doing. We ain't think about food.
I haven't been eating either.
I ain't eat nothing all day. We ain't think about
Hey,
food.
but I ain't gonna lie right now. I'm thinking about a beer right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about happy hour right now.
Okay.
My wife, see what's up,
We
man.
good. Okay. So first off, Dope House ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Like you was talking about that early, saying Dope House never left.
Yeah.
So from this day, next 5 years, what are your expectations? What are your goals? What do you see? What are you planning?
What I'm doing is just I'm working with Carlos. You know what I'm saying? Once again, talked to him just today, and what I want to do is we got a couple of projects that we're working on. One of them is a project where I recorded him over the phone, man. It's called Telephone Road. You know what I'm saying? We call it TR. You know what I'm saying? And that's the next best project right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, we trying to go big with that. It's a little bit more candid. It's more, you know, you got these other last 3 albums that he got while he was in, you know, prison. This one's really like him in the county jail over the phone, rapping.
Okay, we ain't gonna tell you too much about that.
So that's gonna take at least a year.
Telephone Road.
You know what I'm saying? But in the next 4 years after that, you know what I'm saying? It's all about just, you know, taking this brand and just, you know, letting people know that we've always been here. We ain't gone nowhere, you know what I'm saying? And taking it to another level, seeing where you at, you know what I'm saying? Seeing where Low G's at, you know what I'm saying? And follow you guys and make sure that we, you know, polish this Dope House brand, you know what I'm saying? And do the best we can, you know what I'm saying? And for the next 5 years, man, I just see myself working with Lowe's and trying to make sure that we put this on the map, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And rejuvenate a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's just a matter of just us getting together and just, you know, picking up where I left. I know I left. Everybody knows that. I left 7 years ago. I had some things that I needed to take care of. Right. You know what I'm saying? I've grown since then. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm coming back, yeah.
You got whole new energy.
Yeah, I got a whole new energy. I got a whole new vibe. I got a whole new push. I got a whole new passion. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's the same passion that I had back in the days, you know what I'm saying, when we were starting off with, you know, the
hustle time. I mean,
I'm looking right at it. You know what I'm saying? The third wish. You know what I'm saying? It's, you know, we've done so many projects, man, that it is kind of funny how we just get ourselves crossed up on what's time is money, what is never change, and what's power moves, and you know what I'm saying? We've just done so much, you know what I'm saying? I just see myself in the next 5 years just continuing in that and doing more of that, you know what I'm saying? And branching on all the things that we have. There's so much material that we got, that newly discovered, you know, stuff that we have from Los, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that we did over the phone. People haven't heard. He's only getting better. You know what I'm saying? His skills, just talking to him today, I mean, his freaking mind is just gotten sharper. He ain't smoking no more. He ain't drinking no more. He ain't got the hose, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, was all around, you know what I'm saying? He ain't got all that. He don't have none of those, you know, side effects that was just keeping him from, you know, taking his cause and making it. He's sharp. You should hear some of the stuff we got.
Okay. All right. Well, okay, cool. We'll be looking forward for the new projects and everything. So you, as a producer, you know what I mean, you know, where do you think your production stands in the sound of today?
That's a good question, man. You be asking good questions. It's hard for me to say, man, because I don't really
say what you feel.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really feel some of the stuff that's out here, you know what I'm saying? It's just me. You know what I'm saying? Some of my stuff I know it's not up to par. Some of my stuff, when I hear some certain music that's out here, I'm like, man, I'm blown away. Can I even reach that potential? You know what I'm saying? It kind of, you know,
that way back.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but I mean, I'm just telling you, because I had gotten out of the game, I questioned myself, am I ready to come back into this? This game has changed a whole lot in the last 7 years, you know, for me. But at the same time, I know I have the potential and I have the gift that God gave me, that I'm gonna come with it, and it's gonna be strong, it's gonna be powerful. I can hang with everything that's out here.
Okay. Well, I got another question for you. So you was talking earlier, you were saying that Lil Carlos is making beats, and you know, I waited to tell you, yeah, my son making beats, you know what I'm saying? So for the young producers out there, and you know, you being a little, you know, generation, me being a generation, do you feel as though it's good to have that, you know, the youngsters come in and, you know, work on some stuff, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. They're gonna bring in that new generation type stuff that you know, I can't bring to the table. They're gonna bring something to the table. You know what I'm saying? I was amazed, you know what I'm saying, some of the stuff that Carlos Jr. was doing. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's got it. It's in his genes, you know what I'm saying? He was pushing out some real stuff on his own. It was like, I was just there after Carlos asked me to nurture. I didn't even have to do that, you know what I'm saying? He's already, you know, his seed is planted. All he has to do is just I mean, from what I saw, he just needs a little guidance as far as, you know, recording it and doing it this way. But he's already made up his mind on what type of style he can come out with. And it is dope.
Okay.
It's dope. And that's what the new generation is, just these kids, man. It's just like my little grandson. These kids, they growing up faster. They I don't know what it is. They put it in his food. I don't know what's on the internet, but they just have this knowledge of this technology age. And they just pick it up. You know what I'm saying? They know how to play these, you know, video games before I know how to play them. You know what I'm saying? They're out there just reaching out doing things that, you know, and I'm like, looking back, I'm like, man, was I like that to my parents? Probably so.
Okay.
I think this new generation is just bringing it to another level, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
It's all good.
we definitely gonna be looking forward to hearing what's coming up, hearing more from SPM. You know what I'm saying? Seeing more what's going on. You know, and we're gonna be following you through the whole process. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you letting us. You know what I'm saying? You know, use your time to come in.
Shoot, I appreciate y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? This is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? I love the fact that we just, you know, rapping like this. You know what I'm saying? Talking to the you know, generations out there, because that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I'm so amped up, juiced up on, you know, what we're doing. I forgot to eat today. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't seen you in a minute. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting here with, you know, at the dope jar. You know what I'm saying? Just doing what we used to do. It feels like, it feels like I got to a time warp. You know what I'm saying? I went back for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I forget sometimes. You know what I'm saying? But man, this is a blessing.
Dopehouselivestv, man. You know what I'm saying? 2015, 2016, 2017, 18, and therefore, man. Holla at your boy, man. Shadow in the building.
Holla at your boy, man. We'll see you more often, man.